A long time ago, there was an ancient city called Babylon. It was the year 539 BC, and there was a feast that was held by the king of Babylon, Belshazzar, to 1,000 of his lords. As they were feasting and celebrating their gods, a mysterious hand appeared and began to write a message upon a plaster on the wall of the king's palace. The king Belshazzar was greatly troubled to the point where his knees began to shake and knock against one another. The king gave a command to bring in the astrologers, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers to see if they could read the message and interpret it. But none of them could read it nor interpret the message. Then was Daniel brought in, who was able to read the message and interpret it by God. The message read, Mene, Mene, Tekel, Upharsin. In Daniel 5:26, this is the interpretation of the thing. Mene, God hath numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Daniel 5:27, Tekel, thou art weighed in the balances and art found wanting. Daniel 5:28, Peres, thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians. This message was a warning to the king of Babylon that his kingdom was about to be taken from him and become divided. Daniel chapter 5 verse 30. In that night was Belshazzar the king of the Chaldeans slain. Daniel 5:31. And Darius the Median took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. Darius, also known as King Cyrus, took over the kingdoms of this ancient city of Babylon, and this all happened in one night. 2,549 years later, in the year 2011, the world has grown to be a great empire, much like Babylon. The Bible teaches that this ancient city of Babylon spiritually represents all the kingdoms of this world, all the nations of the world, the United States, China, Russia, India, Europe, Central and South America, and so on. These are all Babylon. If the ancient city of Babylon represents all the nations of the world, who does Belshazzar the king of Babylon represent? Satan. Belshazzar is spiritually pointing to Satan. Just as Belshazzar ruled over the city Babylon, Satan has ruled over the kingdoms of this world, or spiritual Babylon, since the time mankind fell into sin in the Garden of Eden. Matthew chapter 4 verse 8. Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. Luke chapter 4 verse 6. And the devil said unto him, All this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, and to whomsoever I will, I give it. Here we see Satan does rule over these kingdoms. So what does this ancient Bible story have anything to do with the current time we're living in? God had this historical event, along with others, recorded in the Bible to hide prophecies for future generations, so that his elect would search these things out to understand what God has in store for our modern generation. This is how God speaks to his elect, not by dreams or visions or voices, as in times past, but only by his word, the Bible. What God is teaching us in this story is that just as Belshazzar was feasting in his kingdom of Babylon, so too was Satan, as it were, celebrating along with those in his kingdom, his rule over the kingdoms of this world, along with his rule in the churches. When the hand appears with the writing on the wall, Mene, Mene, Tekel, Upharsin, this was spiritually pointing to the message of May 21, 2011, Judgment Day. That went around the whole world. This was a warning to Satan and all those in his kingdom, the fallen angels and all unsaved mankind that their kingdom was coming to an end and would be divided in one night. King Cyrus, Darius, is a picture of Christ. In Isaiah 45 verse 1, "Thus saith Jehovah to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden, to subdue nations before him." That same night, King Cyrus came to take over the kingdom of Babylon from Belshazzar. So too did Christ come as a thief in the night to take over the kingdoms of this world on May 21, 2011. Christ is now ruling this earth, judging the nations, and reigning until the end of Judgment Day to the point of eternity. Revelation 11 verse 15. "And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven, saying, The kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever." God is not only ruling, but also dividing Satan's kingdom, even as Babylon was divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Matthew 12:25. "And Jesus knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand." Matthew 12:26. "And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand?" When Satan is divided against himself, his kingdom falls. When those in Satan's kingdom, the people of the world, turn against each other, they are divided against themselves, and they will fall. Revelation 18:2. "And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen. Babylon is fallen, is fallen. The world is fallen, is fallen." Revelation 18 verse 21. "And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all." Babylon, this world, has been cast into the sea, even as it says in Matthew 21 verse 21, that those who have Christ's faith, the elect, will remove the mountain or kingdom of Babylon and cast it into the sea. Matthew 21 verse 21. "Jesus answered and said unto them, Verily I say unto you, if ye have faith, and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also if ye shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, it shall be done. Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all." Thus Babylon, this world, has fallen, and will never rise again.